Everybody. So, welcome. Today I'm going to speak about the lesson of narcissists. Now, there's a lot of talk about narcissists these days, but the thing is, we're all narcissists when we're immature. Okay, any child, any teenager, or any adult whose maturity level is still stuck in the bottom three energy centers known as chakras, then they are automatically a narcissist. Why? Well, a narcissist is somebody who is ego dominant rather than soul dominant. So that means they're in service to themselves. They're always looking at what they can get rather than what they can give. And this is very draining to be around. Now, the lesson of narcissists is the key to understanding how to deal with narcissists, right? And once we know this myth, we don't have to watch lots of, um, you know, videos or read lots of books. It's really quite simple. So the story goes, there's this beautiful boy, because narcissist is, gorgeous, and he's enamored of his own beauty. He's looking into a pond, okay? And it was said that his mother, okay, so this feels like a patriarchal kind of distortion, that she wouldn't allow him to know himself. And so he becomes obsessed with himself. And this, I suppose, is about his own inner feminine, okay? His own inner feminine has not matured, so he's not self-aware. He's not emotionally and psychologically mature. So his inner self is underdeveloped. He hasn't taken the road less travelled, to quote Scott Peck, to find himself, to know himself. And so he's always looking out there, okay? And we see this, I used to think it was just in the West, but it's also in the East. Every culture is affected by patriarchy, and patriarchy stunts our maturity. It keeps the collective consciousness at the level of the mind, the rational mind, which is the solar plexus. I'm just going to move my camera down. So the bottom chakra is located at the base of the spine, the genitalia. This is when we're just in the animal self, and it's about satiating our lust and our physical desires. The emotional center is where we're desperate for emotional connection with others. And this, it's like trying to fill a void, okay, that's endless because we haven't developed enough emotional maturity to fill our own cup. And then the solar plexus, which is located here just beneath the heart, so between the belly, the emotional center, and the feeling center, this is where most of the collective is, situated, which is why our world is so ego dominant. Yeah, it's very cutthroat, people jostling, vying with a sense of competition, always thinking about putting themselves ahead of others, seeing everyone as competition or as something to seduce, something to, do their bidding, do their will. And this, for those that are soul dominant, you kind of want to head to the hills, you just want to be in nature and be a recluse and be around other humble folk that have been through an ego death. Because there's two types of people. There's those that are ego dominant, on the take, always manipulating, exploiting, and those that have been through a huge humbling of their ego and integrated their shadow, and so they're whole and they are soul dominant. So they're looking to be of service to the greater good. So they're seeing everybody that crosses their path as a reflection of the divine, a reflection of the world soul. So, there's a humbling there. So getting back to Narcissus. So he's staring into this pond, yeah, and he's just like, me, 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 me. Not very attractive. So anyone that's soul dominant isn't going to be fooled by the beautiful boy, i.e. someone who is physically beautiful or has the charm, the gift of the gab, yeah, or can seduce you with touch. Yeah, this is not a beauty it's a glamour, okay? It's someone who can cast an enchantment, all right? But those who are soul dominant won't be fooled by this. They will instead look to see if this person possesses inner beauty, i.e., what's their character like? Perhaps it's quite ugly, the fact that they're seeking to always manipulate and exploit others for their own gain. So, Echo is the female protagonist in this story who falls for the beautiful boy narcissist. And because he's not able to give, okay, because you have to be humble to be loving, all right? If you haven't had your ego humbled, you don't have the awareness of the needs of others, which is Libra. Okay, that's the lesson of Libra. Whenever we go through a big transit in either Aries or Libra, because it's the one continuum, the one axis, since they're opposite signs on the zodiac wheel, we're tested on finding a balance between needs of other and needs of self. Now, those that are narcissistic, immature, they have no awareness of others. Okay, this week I had a friend as a house guest come, left my place an absolute mess. Took my house key, went offline for 5 hours, just no consideration. I was locked out of my own home, unable to get hold of them. And when I pointed this out, did not get an apology, Or the Wi-Fi guy that left me waiting for 2 hours. When he showed up, no apology. Narcissus is rife, okay, because we haven't had the initiation into the mystic realm, which is the wisdom of the feminine. Without that, the psyche doesn't mature. And so we can end up feeling pretty jaded and bitter when we're constantly bumping up against people that are just oblivious to the needs of others. Yeah, I'm passionate about it. All fired up in the wake of that eclipse in Aries because it's just been non-stop. So the lesson of Echo is in her voice, okay? So she becomes infatuated with Narcissus, the beautiful boy. Yeah, she's like, oh, how can I get him to focus some of his attention on me? Well, don't even try, honey. Someone who is immature is incapable of seeing you, acknowledging you, hearing you. And this is why she has the name Echo. She fades away to become just a voice because he can't hear anything she says. It's a waste of her time and energy to try and reach him. And so when we're in our maidenhood, and I'm speaking to the brothers and the sisters, in other words, when the feminine part of you, the psyche, which means soul, the inner self, the emotional, psychological part of you is immature, yeah, you're going to be taken in, you're going to be seduced, you're going to become enamored, infatuated, enchanted with somebody who is embodying narcissist. And men and women can both embody it. But when you have been to hell and back, when you've resurrected Venus within yourself, which is the theme of Yantra, my stage show premiering during the Lion's Gate at the Edinburgh Festival this year, August the 2nd to the 10th. Yes, please come. The lesson is about self-love. To actually go, no, I can give myself the love that I'm seeking externally. I don't need to try and enchant or attract or seduce someone who is incapable of seeing and hearing me. And we get tested on this again in midlife, in our 40s and 50s, because this is our second maidenhood. Okay, so in our youth, the inner feminine is the maiden. She falls in love with the potential of someone, not what they're actualized, not who they actually are. She's more in love with who they could be, and maybe I could help them, I could inspire them, I could be the muse to help them fulfill their potential. And this is the root of codependence, where we focus on trying to help somebody, trying to rescue them. The next phase is the mother. Yeah, and she might mother them, make allowances for them at a cost to herself. But the next phase is the enchantress or the mage, the queen, the matriarch. And she does not suffer fools. She will behead the immature masculine like Kali Ma. She will call them out on their shadow. Her serpent fangs will prick their jugular and call them out on their unconscious behavior because she doesn't give a flying fuck what they think of her. Yeah, it's like, no, I'm sorry, life's too short. And the ascendant Venus is both the lover and the destroyer. Okay, so she is the lover and the warrioress. She has the two sides to her. So she has learned how to set boundaries, to speak up on her own behalf. She is whole. She has found the masculine, the protector, the good king within. So when Venus is ascended, when we embody the queen in the second maidenhood, yeah, this is when we're tested on whether or not we are still maiden dominant. Yeah, whether we're still wanting to be chosen, wanting to be rescued, or whether we've rescued ourselves and we are full and whole unto ourselves, like the priestess, the tantrika, one who has embodied the shadow within. We won't suffer fools. We'll call them out, we'll set a boundary and say no. And this is what heals the inner maiden, knowing that we will show up for ourselves. So there's my musings for today. I hope that resonates. Perhaps it's timely given what we've all been journeying as we come out the other side of this eclipse in Aries, which is very much about me, and people behaving in a childish way or in an immature way, thinking only of themselves and the conflict, the fallout that causes. So feel free to share this if it resonates. Thanks for watching, Norma. And yeah, blessings on your weekend. All right, ciao for now, everyone.